DC baseball for you from Gainesville, Florida. It has been an absolutely gorgeous day here in the central part of the state. We've got ourselves a top 25 matchup. 21st ranked LSU, 8th ranked Florida. Two teams that have similar records, but one team certainly feeling a little bit better about where they are as a team here in the second weekend of conference play. And the D1Baseball.com poll shows you that the SEC still a red-hot league. Ole Miss, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Tennessee litter the top five. There's Florida and LSU. Georgia playing quite well, ranked 17. Dave Neal alongside the big right-hander, Ben McDonald. Glad you could join us. And Ben, obviously this Florida team kind of matches this stadium. Pretty new ballpark, shiny, glossy, a lot to like. LSU right now, it's been kind of hit or miss. What's going on with the Tigers?
Well, LSU, I mean, they're not playing any phase of the game really good right now. You take their last Saturday against A&M, they lost 2 out of 3. And look, there was 10 walks by the pitching staff, 6 unearned runs given up by the defense, and they struck out 15 times in a 9-inning game. So they got to figure it out. Now, Florida's got a big ace going for them tonight, Hunter Barco. I'll tell you what, it is a rare combination, Dave, of both power and precision. And you talk about that power, it's a low to mid-90s fastball, a wipeout breaking ball, and a swing and miss split finger fastball. 44 strikeouts on the year. That's second best in the SEC. You want to talk about precision? How about this? Only 2 walks and 44 strikeouts. He very well could be the top college pitcher off the board in the July draft coming up.
Yeah, those numbers are quite impressive, and you see the 44 strikeouts just and the 2 walks. It's hard to fathom that in this day and age. Meanwhile, for this LSU team, obviously we talked a little bit about it. It's been kind of a hit or miss situation with LSU right now, but they're still ranked in the top 25, and if this team's going to go where they want to go, what has to happen?
Well, I think the offense has to continue to carry them, and that's what's been doing so far. You talk about the transfer, Jacob Berry, who came in from Arizona. He followed Jay Johnson over to LSU. What a freshman year he had. 70 RBIs. That led the Pac-12 last year. He was a National Freshman of the Year by Collegiate Baseball. He's off to a good start. 8 home runs. That's third best in the SEC. And the other big bat in that lineup is Dylan Cruz. And what a freshman year he had last year, too. 18 home runs. He was perfect game National Freshman of the Year. His .384 batting average is 8th best in the SEC, and it leads the Tigers.
Well, certainly this LSU lineup will look a little differently tonight. That's because Trey Morgan, who has been a constant in the top of this lineup, has moved down to the 3-hole. Dylan Cruz moves up to hit leadoff as we just saw his numbers just killing the baseball. Kate Doty will hit second. Jacob Berry is cleanup. Drew Bianco will get a start as a designated hitter today, and he will hit 9th for this Tiger team to face Hunter Barco, who is coming off a fantastic start with 10 strikeouts and no walks against the Alabama Crimson Tide on the road just a week ago. So weekend number 2 of conference play is underway for these two teams, and wouldn't you know it, in there for a strike to start things off.
That's what he's done all year long. And look, you talk about the numbers, 2nd in the league in wins, 3rd in ERA, 2nd in strikeouts, 2nd in innings pitched. I mean, he is a real Friday night ace.
LSU at 15-6. They lost 2 of 3 to A&M. Florida 16-5. They won 2 of 3 at Alabama in their opening weekend. Dylan Cruz, just a ball player. There are some similarities between him, and when I say just a ball player, between what LSU has on the field, what they've had in the past, and what he represents. They need more of those guys.
Yeah.
Good start. 1 out for Hunter Barco via the strikeout.
Yeah, he'll do that. It's a 2 and a 4-seam fastball. That was the 4-seamer, so he'll ride it up in the zone when he gets ahead. And boy, it's awfully tough to get on top of that ball chest high at 93, 94.
Well, we were told Hunter Barco works really fast. Well, he works as fast as anybody I have seen to date. Our home plate umpire trying to slow things down. Christopher Griffith calling the balls and strikes today. Doty, 375, 6 homers, and 29 runs batted in.
Yeah, he's kind of been the beneficiary. He began the year hitting the 4-hole for LSU. And, of course, Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan and Jacob Berry was getting on almost every time it seemed like early. And, boy, he was driving them in. Top 3 in the SEC when it comes to RBI is Cade Doty. Look, he's expected to be a pretty high pick, too. He's projected to be a second rounder. So LSU littered with offensive pieces.
1-2 the count to Doty. Become really disciplined at the plate. Well, that pitch is just hard to hit on. Barrel it in on your hands.
It's that breaking ball, and he's collected a lot of those strikeouts on this pitch right here. Watch it. It starts in the zone, but watch it disappear as it travels that 60 feet 6 inches. So you see it out of the hand, you see it as a strike, but boy, it ends up down and in. And Texas A&M had a lot of success against LSU last weekend working that breaking ball down and into these big right-handed hitters.
Now Trey Morgan slide into that 3-hole tonight. Trey, 337 on the year. Preseason All-American. Well, you start thinking about Trey Morgan, Dylan Cruz, Jacob Berry, all guys that were on All-American lists coming into this season.
Yeah. And it still is a very good offense for LSU. I mean, you look at the numbers on the year, 316 batting average, 31 home runs. They're averaging right at 9 runs per game. That's 5th best in the SEC, so they are putting up some runs.
In play out to second base. Colby Halter across the diamond and a really easy first frame for Hunter Barco. The Florida Gators come in ranked 8th in the country, 16-5, 2-1 in league play. They've won 3 of their last 4, but got off to a little bit of a shaky start. Liberty came in here and kind of woke the Gators up, you might say. Came back and won 2 of 3 last weekend against Alabama, but they are hitting the baseball about as well as anybody outside of the state of Tennessee, perhaps. Judd Fabian among those guys, 10 home runs, leading the Southeastern Conference. Judd will hit in the 2-hole, has a 10-game hit streak going on, but this is a lineup that hits 309 as a team that's 5th in the league. Tennessee, Vandy, Auburn, and Ole Miss are 1 through 4, but a very good lineup that is consistent. This is what it looks like for Florida night in, night out. This is the guy right here that's going to have to work deep into this game if LSU wants a chance.
No doubt about that. Blake Money, you know, is a good story. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. It's a fastball, the low to mid-90s kind of fastball, and you know, good breaking ball, change up to go with it. He got nicked up a couple of starts ago, had to come out early, but the numbers are good on the year. You see the numbers, 2-0 with a 2.8 ERA. I think the key for him against an offense like this is to get ahead and be able to get to his off-speed stuff. And then, of course, LSU needs him because they went through so many pitchers last week, and they had a 12-inning midweek game against Louisiana Tech that they lost, and they had to use a lot of their main guys. It's important for Blake Money to be a really Friday night guy and give him at least 6 innings tonight.
Opponent's only hitting 196 against Blake this year. And 28 1/3 innings, ERA under 3.
Yeah, first 3 starts for Blake Money this year gave up 1 earned run. In his last 2 starts, that's 7 2/3 innings, he's given up 8 earned runs in his last 2 starts.
So Colby Halter, the second baseman, will lead things off. First pitch swinging is fouled straight back. He's reached base in 20 straight games, the sophomore out of Jacksonville, Florida. .350 average on the year. That one will miss. Colby, a top 40 draft prospect by D1 Baseball. Played a bunch of games last year, had 44 starts, hit .302, which ended up being 3rd on the team.
Yeah, back-to-back changeups. See Blake Money trying to establish something off speed. He'll need to do that. He got a hit with strike 1, and both these changeups have missed.
Colby opened the season with a 14-game hit streak. That one misses, and now it's 3-1.
Well, these first innings are always the toughest for me for a starting pitcher because you get an adrenaline flow on that game mound that you can't create in the bullpen. And you just wonder how good your stuff is because what you have in that bullpen doesn't necessarily translate when they say play ball.
That one is touched deep to right. It will leave the ballpark. Home run Florida, number 44 on the year.
Well, they can bang it, Dave Neal. We talked about their 43 homers coming in. That's third best, not in the SEC, but the entire country. Make it 44 now. And I want to watch the move to the baseball. Watch Kobe Halter pull the hands in. That's borderline from even being a strike, but he gets those hands in quick to the body, gets the barrel to the baseball, and that one easily leaves the yard.
That was deep up on the berm and right. That'll be his 5th home run of the year, and RBI number 12, and his reach base streak goes to 21 games, the 2nd leadoff home run for Halter this year. And now here's Fabian, who leads the conference in home runs with 10.
Yeah, he has been so hot as of late. 4 home runs in his last 5 games, 7 home runs in his last 10 games, and you mentioned it, leads the SEC in home runs with 10.
Fabian's coming off a 2 home run game against Bethune-Cookman in their midweek contest. And his 42 home runs, 6th all-time at Florida. Well, that one will be out of play down the right field line. It's 1-2 to Judd Fabian. The Gators center fielder has a .480 on-base percentage.
Yeah, Judd Fabian drafted, what, 2nd round last year by the Red Sox, turned it down, said, I want to go back to Florida. I can do better than that. You know, a lot of pressure on him. And look, that happens to a lot of college kids. When you become draft eligible for the first time, you put a little bit of extra pressure. And you remember we talked about Judd Fabian this time last year.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be an early first rounder, but the numbers, you know, the home run numbers were there. He had 20 home runs last year, but the batting average and the swing and miss a little bit too high, and he wanted to come back to Florida. There's a really good changeup.
That'll be the first out.
Watch this changeup. Looks like a fastball out of the hand. The big fella just kind of turns it over. All 6'7", 240 pounds of Blake Money. Dots an eye on the outside part of the plate to pick up the first out. And that's how Blake Money's going to have to pitch. He's going to have to pitch from ahead, and he's got to use his off-speed stuff.
Well, he tried that against Colby Halter, but fell behind after a couple of changeups, missed the strike zone, and fell behind 3-1.
This is a very good hitting fastball team, the Florida Gators, and they've proven it all year long so far.
Sterling Thompson will step in, the 3-hole hitter.
And when they can get you in fastball counts, they can do some damage.
There's Colby Halter. He had the leadoff home run.
That was a pretty good move to the baseball. I mean, that ball was borderline being a strike. But again, when it's 3-1, you can cheat a little bit. You can expect fastball, and that's exactly what he did.
Thompson was on the SEC all-freshman team. 301 average, 5 homers. Matter of fact, all 5 of those home runs last year came on the road. Not the case this year. Has 6 home runs and 19 runs batted in. And now another 3-1 count. And he missed it. Ball 4.
Yeah, Blake Money wanted nothing to do with Sterling Thompson in those fastball counts. He tried back-to-back changeups. Couldn't do it. See, his first 3 starts, he was just lights out. Only gave up 1 earned run. The last 2 starts, a little bit of a trouble. They did come out 2 starts ago, a little bit of a wrist injury, so he came out early in that ball game, gave up a 3-run home run, dove for a ball. Not sure if that caused the problem or not, but appeared to be healthy against Texas A&M last weekend. Just the numbers were not there.
Don't hear pitchers with wrist injuries very often.
No. Yeah, and never got the truth whether it was something that, you know, he dove for a bunt the inning before, and don't know if that's something that sprained the wrist, but all indications are he is healthy. The few fastballs we've seen tonight have been high velocity, 94, 95, so that looks good.
Wyatt Langford at the plate. He has been on a tear. The last 11 games, he's hitting .574. 5 homers, 16 runs batted in, 9 extra base hits. This from a guy that only got to the plate four times last year.
Yeah, we were talking to Sully about that before the game. He said, I probably made a mistake. Yeah. He said he came to me as a first baseman and a catcher type player. And I just couldn't get him on the field anywhere last year. And he said, I probably should have gave him a chance, because he said he's very physical, and he's shown that so far this year. Those 8 home runs and 23 RBIs. And it's been, it's been a group effort, but really Langford and Fabian have kind of carried the torch for the Gators as of late.
Yeah, I was expecting Sully to say, he was a little banged up, just didn't healthy. And he's like, no, I messed that up.
I just kind of messed it up.
Yeah. Nice pick at third base by Barry across the diamond. Can they get 2? Safe at first. Close play, but Barry with a good pick to start.
Yeah, that was a nice pick by Jacob Barry to the backhand side. This young man's trying to find a position in what would be the professional level here in July. But watch him go to the backhand side right here. Stab this ball, squares the shoulders, a good feed over to K. Doty, who tries to roll it over, but not in time. Like Trey Morgan thought he had a double play, but clearly there. Langford gets in.
So 2 outs now, and that'll take us to the Gator catcher, B.T. Riopel. Well, they're lucky to have BT, a transfer in from Coastal Carolina, second team all Sun Belt last year, but really does a nice job. A real leader behind the plate. Experience, obviously playing some major college baseball at Coastal.
Yeah, I mean, he started all 3 years at Coastal, so it just goes to show you how much experience he brings. And Sully was telling us, look, he loves the way he handles the pitching staff. He's a leader. It's almost like he's been here for 2 or 3 years, although it's his first year. And so he's taken that leadership role on right away because he is one of the veteran players of this team.
BT, 323 with 4 homers. Fly ball out to right, playable there for DiGiacomo, and that'll do it. But the Gators do strike for 1 off a leadoff home run from Colby Halter.
Yeah, this is how you get the party started. The Gators have done this all year long, and Colby Halter with a large one out to right field. Gators up 1-0.
Jay Johnson knows quite well, and Jacob Barry just amongst the big-time transfers this year, and Chase Dollander has been a huge get for Tennessee, certainly. John Gaddis throwing Friday nights over there for Ole Miss. This is going to be the norm now, I think, in college baseball. We're going to see a lot of transfers make an immediate, huge impact at other schools. So
no doubt. No doubt. I mean, it's in some ways, I think it's the rich get richer. I think you're going to see a lot of the Power 5 conferences go out and nab some of the best mid-major players, and I think you're going to see it in all sports. But it is what it is. And look, if you're a coach rebuilding, I mean, that helps you because you can go out like Texas A&M. I mean, we talked to Slosh last week, and he said, I went out and hit the transfer portal. I had some holes I had to fill. I got 15 transfers in this year.
Well, here's a good one, certainly for LSU. Jacob Barry, co-freshman of the year last year. His relationship with Coach Johnson goes back to his freshman year. That's when those two first connected. And it was a pretty easy decision for Jacob to want to follow the guy that really believed and trusted in him at such a young age.
Yeah, he loved what Coach taught him, his offensive approach, and it paid off last year. I mean, when you hit 352, 17 homers, and 70 RBIs, it says something.
I mean, the ball just comes off his bat. We were talking to Coach Johnson about that earlier today, and he and Dylan Cruz, the exit velos, when they make contacts, are always around 100 or more.
Yeah, and look, it's short, tight, compact. In the right side of the plate, this is where he has struggled this year. I mean, all 8 of his home runs have come from the left side of the plate. He's not hit that well from the right side, but he showed some signs last weekend against Texas A&M. He got 2 or 3 base hits from the right side. So if he can get it going a little bit from the right side, obviously, that's going to add a big plus for LSU's offense.
That 340 average, 345 average will tick up a bit. Gavin Dugas will step in, hitting 300 on the year. Hitting 5th in this lineup.
Yeah, Dugas has hit anywhere from 8-hole up to the 5-hole for LSU. Remember now, he led the SEC in RBIs last year with 66. Had a big year in his first full year of playing time.
Ended up being the Eugene, Oregon regional most outstanding player last year on that nice little run by LSU.
And he also hit 18 home runs, and 13 of those 18 home runs came in SEC play. So when you do it against the best pitching in the country, and there was some loud numbers last year, you had 13 homers in 30 games in SEC play. That's saying something. That's almost unhittable. Little backdoor breaking ball. So as a hitter, you give up on it because you see it so far outside. And watch this thing just kind of ooze back over the outside corner. Perfectly placed breaking ball by Hunter Barco.
Home plate umpire Christopher Griffith saying, you need to get on back. And you could hear him say, no, no, no. And they're going to take a look to see if this did hit him or not.
Well, it's a breaking ball trying to get it down and in where he had success on K. Doty, and we'll see. Couldn't really tell. Now Dugas didn't even hesitate. Like, I mean, his reaction tells you that he was hit because there was no. Ooh, if we could show that again. Did you see the pant leg move a little bit on the left thigh?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that there was absolutely no hesitation, Ben. It's hard to see. It's just hard to see even when you blow it up.
Yeah, and the ball looks like it does change direction a little bit. Yeah, it looks like I don't know if it's the wind that does it, but the pant leg on the thigh looks like it moved a little bit. But I always watch the hitter's reaction because if you got to think about it, obviously you didn't get hit. He never hesitated and went down. Now, I don't know if there's enough evidence to overturn it, but that's something LSU has been really doing well this year. They've been hit 48 times. That's #1 in the SEC and 4th best in the entire country. The on-base percentage for LSU is much higher, almost 100 points higher this year so far than what it was last year.
Gavin leads the team with 9 hit-by pitches. Kind of hoping number 10's right here. If you're going to get hit, that's the way to get hit, right?
Yeah, just the wind.
Yeah.
There you go, batter stays here.
Well, Gavin tried to sell it. Counts 2-2.
Yeah, not 1-2.
Yeah.
That's what. Jay Johnson, first-year head coach for LSU.
So here we go. The count 2-2. Runner at first base. Jacob Berry after his single back up the middle. Boy, pulled the string on that one. And Dugas will head back to the dugout.
There's your breaking ball again. Watch this thing. Starts on the outside part of the plate. He brings it back over. Perfectly done. And there's a big difference in the speed, too. So the fastball is 92, 93 miles an hour. When you get that in at 78, 79, that's tough for a hitter to be able to cover both of those pitches. And it's a little bit unusual arm slot, too. If you look where Hunter Barco's arm slot is, a little bit lower arm slot. And he kind of steps across his body. So it's almost a crossfire in some ways.
That one stays in front of Rio Pell, and that'll keep Berry over at first. Jordan Thompson hitting .282, this LSU shortstop. Been pretty solid at the plate. A couple of homers, 6 doubles. But he has had a tough time defensively this year for LSU. That ball's high and deep to left. Wyatt Langford to the fence and will make the catch. Oh, tough break for Jordan Thompson. Missed it by a couple of feet.
Boy, wind blowing out just a little bit. He didn't get all of this one, but I thought when it went up, he might have got enough of it. Elevated fastball does a good job just to get the barrel to it, and he knew it was going to be close, and it pushed Langford all the way back to the wall, and Jordan Thompson can't believe it. Love what Langford did. He goes all the way back, puts that free hand out just to find out how close he is to the fence.
It'll go as out number 2, Tyler McManus. McManus is hit by the pitch.
No doubt about that.
The LSU catcher, you could hear that one.
We will not have a replay on that one, Dave Neal. Sound is all you need.
He'll shake it off. Easy for me to say.
It's easy to say from up here, is right. That'll put a little hitch in your giddy up right there.
That is the second hit batter this year by Hunter Barco. And that'll take us to Giovanni DiGiacomo. He'll foul that one off.
So Hunter Barco's only allowed 4 passes. Can you believe that? 2 walks this year and 2 hit by pitches only. So 4 free passes by him so far this year. This was makes Hunter Barco so tough to hit from the left side. I want you to watch where he strides. So his stride foot, which will be his right foot, watch where he lands with that stride foot as he goes towards home plate. I mean, he's literally stepping at the left-handed hitter. Watch how far across he is. Tough to hang in there on that breaking ball, Dave. You know, that one almost starts at your back pocket or behind your hip and breaks it back over. And you got to be awfully committed as a left-handed hitter to hang in there against Hunter Barco.
BT Raupel back there giving the signals in a hurry for Hunter Barco, who likes to work quickly. 2 outs and 2 on. Breaking ball stays inside. Barco not afraid to keep pumping the inside pitch.
Well, he likes that breaking ball, and you can tell he likes it to the arm side. So there's been a lot of backdoor breaking balls to the right-handers and front door breaking balls to the left-handers.
Signs from Raupel. The pitch from Barco. Lifted in the air. Out to center. Fabian will make the catch, and LSU will leave a couple of runners. It's a 1-0 ball game. Florida moving to the bottom of the second. Leads LSU 1-0. Interesting that this is the first time that these two clubs have met each other in the regular season since 2019. And the first time LSU has been to Florida since 2017. That is a long time for these two programs to not have seen each other here down in Gainesville for the fans, just for the sake of the fans.
I think it's been about 2017 since I've visited Gainesville, but I tell you this, this new ballpark is first time for me laying eyes, and I call it new. I know it's just been, what, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. They did it right.
Yeah, it is definitely a little different than where we used to set up shop, that's for sure. Kendrick Kalilau will lead things off for Florida, followed by Rivera and then Chris Armstrong, the designated hitter. So 6, 7, and 8 for Florida. Game started with a Colby Halter home run to right field, our only run of the game so far. Blake Money, the ace of this LSU staff, has fallen behind. 2-1 to Kalilau.
Yeah, Blake Money's a good story, and we call him an ace, although he's never done it before. I mean, last year he was left off of the postseason roster. He's already pitched more innings this year than he did the entire season last year. But he got his feelings hurt because he was left off the roster, and he said, you know what, I had to change some things. And the first thing he did, he lost over 40 pounds. And he got his body, started eating better, started working out. And he said, you know, I thought I was pretty good coming from Tennessee. And I get to LSU and I realized I'm not very good. And I didn't get to play a whole lot last year, so I had to change some things. And so he's trying to become a Friday night guy for LSU.
3-1, blistered out to left. Dugas on the run will make the catch, and that'll be one down. And it's interesting talking to Jay Johnson about him earlier today and the challenge he kind of presented to Blake. Hey, if you want to be a part of this team, we got to see some changes.
Yes.
And he went out, didn't hesitate, didn't complain, didn't gripe, just went out, changed his body, changed his attitude, got better. And, you know, these guys, well, it's kind of hard to say not getting paid, but their scholarship is something that you earn. Some guys are on a half, some guys are on 3/4. You know how it works.
And not many are on 3/4. Most of them are on quarters, you know. I mean, that's the world we live in with 11.7, you know. And, you know, but Blake Money realized it, you know, and tip of the cap to him, you know. But I think that happens to a lot of kids that come to college because you're all perfect game or whatever, and you're all state and everybody is. You show up to campus and you think, I'm pretty good. But then you realize everybody's good. And these are the things that I have to change to be successful. And look, he went out and did those things. He swallowed his pride in a lot of ways. And, you know, you go talk to him, he say, man, it really hurt me when Coach left me off the postseason. But he said it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me.
And here he is starting on a Friday night. Ground ball, foul ball. Good backhanded pick, though, by Jacob Berry, who's working hard to become a solid defender.
Yeah, I'll say this about this LSU team. I mean, they have made a ton of errors, and we've touched on it this year. I mean, look, it's 14 more errors than anybody else in the SEC has made, and 37 errors on the year. I think Ole Miss has 23. But it's not for lack of effort. I mean, you go and you see them work before the games. You see them at practice, and they're taking tons of ground balls. So it's not for lack of effort. It just hadn't come together defensively yet.
Well, Berry only has one error. Thompson at short has 10. Cade Doty out at second base has 6. Past the diving glove of Jacob Berry out into left field. So a base knock for Josh Rivera. Hey, Saturday night on SEC Network, it's college baseball from Oxford. Top-ranked Ole Miss hosts number 5 Tennessee in the second game of that 3-game series. Coverage begins at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. It's also available on the ESPN app. Well, you know, there's so many different baseball polls, and 3 teams of the SEC are ranked number 1 in different polls.
Well, regardless, that's some high-octane offenses going at it right there. I mean, Ole Miss averaging 10 runs a game. Tennessee over 11 runs a game.
Tennessee's numbers offensively, folks. Chris Armstrong will step in, but as a team, they're hitting .341. They lead the country with 59 home runs, 64 doubles. That leads everybody in this league by a pretty wide margin. I mean, it is nuts what they're doing offensively.
Yeah, I mean, look, you go down the list. I mean, the batting average second in the country, on base percentage first in the country, slugging percentage first in the country. And what I really look, I dig deeper into it. They're the best in the SEC when it comes to walks versus strikeouts. So 151 walks on the year, only 153 strikeouts. So only a -2 in that department. There's nobody else even close to that. So it tells me they're patient. Now, they're going to strike out like everybody does. It's part of the game now. But their on base percentage is good, and their pitch recognition is very good as well.
Well, they'll have their hands full with Ole Miss, and then next week they turn around and take on Vanderbilt in Nashville.
Well, welcome to the SEC. I mean, it just,
yeah.
I mean, they don't call it the 10-week grind for nothing, because that's what it is. I mean, you're facing the best competition in the country. But the good news is, once you get through it, Dave Neal, you are prepared for the postseason, because you can literally look at yourself and say, you know, we're not going to see anything in postseason play that we've not seen so far during the regular season. I think in a lot of ways that's the silver lining to it.
Coach Johnson was speaking about the SEC and how much of a grind it is every weekend. And certainly in the Pac-12, there were some good teams, but it wasn't every weekend the grind that you face here. Swing and a miss. Armstrong goes down. Big strikeout for Blake Money.
Yeah, Blake Money has gotten ahead with the fastball, but this is how he started to finish, a really good changeup and out in front. So fastball 94, 95, changeup 82, 83, so about a 12-mile-an-hour difference. And what sells it, Dave Neal, is that really good arm action that he has. It looks like a fastball out of the hand, but it has some nice down-and-away action to the left-handed hitters.
And here's the youngster Derek Fabian, the younger brother of Judd Fabian, playing third base. Nice campaign. Coach Kevin O'Sullivan certainly excited about the prospects of the younger Fabian.
Yeah, you talk about a good-looking kid, 6'4", playing third base, 185 pounds, and Sully told us today that he really thinks he projects out in the next year or two as a shortstop. I mean, that's big league size shortstops.
How many times have we seen Sully over the years just kind of bring in a shortstop? Guy's a good player, but he'll play him at second or third just to wait his turn to put him in.
Yeah. Very seldom you see him put true freshmen at shortstop because, I mean, that's the captain of the field in a lot of ways, you know. And, you know, you look at their guy, Rivera's been there, this is his third year, redshirt sophomore, so been there 3 years.
Lifted in the air. Out to left. No damage done as Dugas will make the catch, so the Gators will leave one. We have played two. Florida out in front, 1-0 over LSU. For this man, the new Gator basketball coach, but he was setting the stage. Todd Golden with the first pitch today. Only a couple of days here on campus and already throwing strikes. I like it.
Yeah, he almost broke the speed limit, I think, Dave. He was close.
53, you know, you got 53.
Is that 53?
Yeah, 53.
That's a little embarrassing. I was trying to get it above 60.
Did you get warmed up at all or not really?
I was down there for 30 minutes. I didn't want to come out here and throw a terrible pitch.
Oh, anyway, listen, it is great to see you.
Thank you.
That might be the most nerve-wracking thing you do all year, maybe.
For sure. I just threw the first pitch out at softball before.
Did you throw it underhand or overhand?
I did, and that was way less nerve-wracking because nobody expects me to throw a good pitch underhand.
Sure.
But, you know, coming out here on the diamond and going up there in front of all these
Yeah, you
fans,
were a little bit anxious. I saw you kind of get on the field a little bit early. We had to back you off a little bit. You were ready to go.
Okay.
Drew Bianco steps in, by the way, for LSU. It'll be 9, then the top of the order again for the Tigers. But, Todd, obviously it has been a whirlwind. I mean, from NCAA tournament to here we are now in Gainesville. And what's it been like the last 5, 6, 7 days? I mean, it just seems like it's been nuts.
Yeah, you know, it's been great. It's been nonstop for sure. I'm a little tired right now, but it's been everything I've expected it to be. And my family and I felt incredibly welcomed by the people here in Gainesville. The administration, the staff have been great. And to be honest, I'm just really happy to be a part of the Gator family.
So how much time, that ball's hitting the air out to left center off the bat of Bianco. That'll be the first out. I know you spent some time with Bruce Pearl in Auburn. Did you ever get to even go walk around this campus or anything before this opportunity?
You know, we played here one time back in 2014 or 15, my first year at Auburn. And, you know, we went in and out, you know, did our shoot around, came back, played the game. But I never really got to experience the city. And that's one thing that I'm honestly blown away by coming down here. This is a magnificent place, man. This is it's pretty special. You have everything you need here in terms of housing and restaurants and just a lot of great people. And my wife and I, Megan and I, are just super, super happy to be here.
Well, for sure, gas prices have to be a little bit better than where you came from.
Quite a bit, you know.
So that's a plus.
One of many coming here from California, to be honest.
Yeah, so I was reading some stuff, and I heard you talk about, nothing against San Francisco, but not exactly the greatest place to raise a family.
Correct.
That's part of the decision that goes into it. I mean, obviously you're looking for a great opportunity, but it just kind of meshes with what you're looking for as well in that area.
Yeah, to be honest, you know, as we started having a really good year, you know, you start thinking there might be some opportunities to kind of take a leap or take a next step. When we started getting in conversations with Scott, you know, this was, as I told him and as he's talked about, I was like, hey, I would love to be here. You know, this is something that Megan and I and our kids, we would love to grow up here. My son, believe it or not, is a big baseball guy. He's only 5, but loves the game. And to be able to be in a place where, you know, you can spread out a little bit, you got really good weather most of the year, you know, you just can't beat it. And this is a great place to raise a family, so we hope we're here a long time.
Well, did you expect the kind of year you guys had? Did you know it in the preseason you guys had a chance to make a run like that in an NCAA tournament?
I did. You know, when we got together June 15th, that's when we first got all of our team together for our summer workouts, and I sat all these guys in the room. I looked around and I said, you know what? if I can coach at all, we should have a really good team. And so we did a good job recruiting and did a good job retaining our talent, which is really important this day and age with the transfer portal. Yeah, we just put it out there. Our goal all year was make the NCAA tournament. And in the West Coast Conference, it's really hard to do it at large. Gonzaga being at the top of the league, being a top 5 team all year, it's kind of been like a barrier of entry for a little bit. But for us to get back there for the first time in 25 years was a really special year for us, and just really proud of our student athletes and our coaching staff there. And this is the type of opportunity that you get rewarded with.
Well, okay, Doty pops that one up down the right side. Should be played there by Thompson. He'll make the catch. So, what can we expect? Obviously, there will be a change in what we see as basketball fans on the court. I know it's early, but what do you want? What are you looking for from the group? And I know there'll be some changes. That's just inevitable in terms of roster management and whatnot. But what can they expect to see?
I think the most important thing for me, in terms of building the program, in terms of style of play, there's 3 things. There's 3 areas on the court that I think you can do a really good job of that don't require talent. And that's defending, that's rebounding, that's taking care of the basketball. And if you do those 3 things, you're going to raise your floor. And then if you get some talented offensive guys that can make some shots, then you have a chance to be really, really good. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to build it foundationally, really try to get mentally and physically tough, create some grit on our roster. And if we can do that early, I think I'll be really happy with our results in year 1.
Can you believe at your age? I mean, when you're sitting there, you're playing basketball in high school. I know you won a state championship, had some success, played in college, St. Mary's, and had some success. Yeah. But the fact that you're sitting here now and you get to run the University of Florida basketball program in your mid-30s, I mean, is that just nuts?
It's a little surreal, But to be honest, like this is the dream, right? When you get into coaching, you're working. You want to become a head coach, and you want to work at one of the premier institutions in the world or in the United States of America. And there's blue bloods. I think Florida is one of those programs. You look around, you got your UCLA's, your Kansases, your Dukes. Florida's won back-to-back national championships. They've, like I said in my press conference, over the last 20 years, guys that played here at Florida have made over $1 billion in the NBA.
Wow.
So it's a special place where you can do great things. And to be honest, what I'm excited about, and this is no knock on where I came from in San Francisco. I had great administration. They tried to give us as good of a chance as we could to be good, but you have everything you need here. You're on an even playing field with the rest of your league, whereas at San Francisco, Gonzaga, BYU, St. Mary's, they have a little bit more. So I feel like we're going into a gunfight with a gun, whereas in the past we had a knife. And I'm just excited to see what we can do with all these resources.
And what was your? I mean, I'm sure you've met the team so far. What was your first message to them?
Talking a lot about just the 3 things that I really strive to get out of my club.
Tell you what, let's take a break. Stay. Don't go anywhere. I know you probably have dinner
We'll talk
plans,
about it when we come back.
Right. I'll buy you dinner. Ben will buy you dinner later on if you stay. Back in a moment. Gators lead LSU, a top 25 matchup, moving to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Dave Neal alongside a couple of guys that played some ball at a high level. This is Todd Golden, who now coaches, but played at St. Mary's. That's Ben McDonald, who played basketball at LSU and baseball.
Long time ago.
And I'm the guy that didn't play. So it's pretty easy to figure that out, isn't it? Listen, we were talking a little bit about, philosophies and whatnot, but is there a coach that had a greater influence on you than others, or is it a combination of your path?
I think I'm definitely a combination of my path. I'd be remiss to say that it wasn't Randy and Kyle. Randy coached me at St. Mary's. Kyle is a guy that not only did I play for at St. Mary's, but coached with for 5 years. And so those guys definitely are kind of my bigger influences. But Bruce is a lot different than those guys, and a lot, better in a lot of ways and different in a lot of ways. And I think what I try to do is I'm going to be myself first and foremost, but try to sprinkle in some of both those guys. And if I can do that, I feel like we have a pretty good chance of being good.
Now, when you said style a while ago, what would you describe your style of coaching?
I like to give my guys a lot of confidence out there. I like to give them a lot of freedom. We have some kind of non-negotiables in terms of what we talked about: defend and rebound and take care of the ball. If you do those things, you're going to have a lot of freedom on the offensive end. And I think if you give those guys freedom, they have a chance to be a lot better than if you're kind of squeezing them and criticizing them when they're taking certain shots. So I was a shooter when I played. I knew if I was worried about it when I was letting it fly, I wasn't going to be very good. So I want my guys to go out there and play free, and I'll live with an occasional bad shot if they're competing really hard.
Colby Halter, who had a home run his first time up, flies out to left there. Numbers is such a big thing. Analytics, such a big part of all sports, really. But in basketball, we get it more and more every day.
Yep.
How much are you a believer in those types of numbers, breaking down teams?
You know what? I think it's more of the way I view running the program, way I view like player personnel, building the roster. Like it's more out of the analytical lens where we try to gather as much data as we can and then pair it with what we're seeing and see if it all makes sense, you know. And if we'll do some different things in game that's a little unique and tricky to try to gain some incremental advantages, but you know, we also want to keep the human element in it. If we're not just, you know, nerds crunching numbers behind the keyboard all day, because there is a human element. There's different situations and environments that might cause different results. But there's no question, especially in the game of baseball too, right, that numbers have kind of changed the way the game's played.
That's laced off the bat of Judd Fabian.
So tell me and tell the folks at home, when you talk about analytics from like baseball, we talk about spin rates and exit velocities and all those kind of things. What's some of the most common analytical numbers you look at in a basketball game?
You know what? I think it's more about, like, obviously you have the box score, right? But there's better ways, at least in my opinion, to evaluate the way the game is going. Like, you know, I'll give you an example. Like, instead of looking at like how many offensive and defensive rebounds a team have, I'm more concerned with the offensive rebound rate. So how many of the offensive rebound opportunities are the teams getting back? You know, because it all depends on how many shots are being missed and made, and sometimes those numbers don't add up if you don't have the percentages. So that's one thing that we do. Turnover, offensive and defensive efficiency is a pretty basic one, but it's something that we look at quite a bit. And, you know, different lineup data, you know, seeing how guys play together, plus minus, and then 2, 3, 4 player combinations. We look at all those things, and you know, sometimes you can kind of get lost in the weeds if you spend too much time, but if you evaluate it the right way, I think it gives you a little bit of an advantage.
All right, before we get out of here, though, I just would love to know, because this has been kind of a crazy thing. So when do you like the wife, is she down here looking for a house? How does this all work? I mean, what are you doing?
We all came down on Monday night. We all got here Monday night, and then my wife Megan went out on Tuesday, started looking around, trying to figure out a great place for us. Actually, her and my kids went back to California today, actually yesterday, because they're in school. And then I think I'm going to be the one tasked with doing that, which is going to be difficult. I was hoping she would pick it because I didn't want to get yelled at when I picked the wrong one.
You know it's not going to be right.
You're in a no-win situation.
No
with
question.
That one.
So what I'm going to probably do is just hold off. They're going to come back out for spring break, April 15th, and then I'm going to let her choose, and that way we'll both be happy.
That's great. Narrow it down to 2 or 3, right, and say, okay, which one do you like? That's the way to do it. Well played on your part. Hey, listen, we'll see a bunch during hoop season. Congratulations on this. A new era is underway at Gator basketball, and wish you nothing but the best.
No, it's been a pleasure being here with you guys. Thanks for having me. And,
nice first pitch, by the way.
Hey,
53 miles an hour.
I thought it was 83.
Felt like it anyway.
It looked. I swear I said 83, and Ben goes, "Nah, it was just 52."
Oh man, I'll heat it up next time.
Yeah, no.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
Todd,
you guys.
Buddy.
Good luck.
Congratulations on this.
Yeah, go Gators.
Well, there you go. The Gators' new head ball coach on the hardwood.
I like him. Plenty of energy. And super excited.
It'll be interesting to see, you know, like, because, you know, it's the term roster management. Everybody has to do it these days. Thompson out to right, played deep there by DiGiacomo, makes the catch, comes in, charging, throw to first. Got him, double play by LSU. What a huge play by DiGiacomo, who had to cover a lot of ground in right and then made a heads-up play to double up Fabian at first.
Giovanni DiGiacomo in right field charges this ball. He realized Fabian's too far off, lets it go, a two-hopper, and a nice finish on the back end by Trey Morgan to get LSU off the field.
There. I don't know that Ben can
The
pull that
stash
one
is
off.
back. No, I can't. I couldn't pull it off then, and I can't pull it off
right.
now.
Have you ever had a mustache? You ever had a mustache, Ben? You ever
No, I couldn't grow one, but that's one of my favorite shows, mustache there. Like, that's an 1883, I'm wearing a cowboy hat kind of mustache.
That was solid. Good work by him. Solid defensively by LSU. We've been talking some about the woes they have defensively, but a fantastic play by DiGiacomo to get LSU out of the inning, and we move to the fourth. Jacob Berry will lead things off. The cleanup hitter for LSU, singled his first time up. Has pushed his average to 352. Hammers this one deep to left. Langford back to the warning track again, will make the catch. You know what? 20 minutes ago, that ball might be out of here. The flags have just drooped. They were blowing straight out 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, pretty quick hands right here, too. Fastball, middle. Jacob Berry right from point A to point B. Boy, he thought he had one right there. A little bit of a bat toss, but right up against the wall for the second time tonight. Wyatt Langford hauls it in.
Gavin Dugas, the junior, steps in. He struck out his first time. Breaking news while we were talking to Todd Golden last inning when Hunter Barco walked Dylan Cruz for just his third walk of the year. That 0-2 just misses.
Yeah, Hunter Barco thought he had strike three, so it was breaking ball, went with the fastball just on the outside corner, but called a ball.
Chopper foul. We'll do it again.
Both of these pitchers, I mean, using a lot of off-speed pitches. We've seen Blake Money. He's been majority off-speed since the home run. He gave up the leadoff home run to Colby Halter, rather. It's been a lot of breaking balls, a lot of change-ups, and even Hunter Barco.
You know, coming into this inning, Blake Money had actually thrown more first pitch strikes than Hunter Barco. He was 8 for 12 in first pitch strikes to the 12 batters he faced. Barco was 6 for 12.
Pretty good at bat right here by Gavin Dugas. Got down 0-2 early, and he's worked it all the way back to 3-2. And that's one of the things Jay Johnson, LSU head coach, is big on, is forcing a real ace like Hunter Barco to throw a lot of pitches to try to get him out of the game a little bit sooner.
Boy, 2 walks. Barco can't believe it.
Well, he thought he had a strike three again. But again, watch where the catcher's set up. Ryapel is set up on the outside part of the plate. You see where he's at, but watch where the ball goes. And sometimes when you miss your spot that much, although that might have been a strike, but when you miss from one side of the plate clear across to the other side, a lot of times the umpire won't give it to you.
And here's Jordan Thompson. He just missed a home run by a couple of feet his first time up. Hit it out to left field as well. Thompson average has dipped to 278. That misses. 2-0.
How about the numbers Hunter Barco had last year? 16 starts, 10-3 record. He won 10 games, 83 innings pitched, only walked 26, struck out 94.
At least on 5 straight balls here. Make it 6 in a row. That might be the first time all year that's happened.
Yeah, that's an amazing number. 44 strikeouts coming in, only 2 walks. 58 pitches, 32 strikes. Yeah, that's a big miss again.
Wow. Barco has walked 2, 3 in this game.
Well, and Sully told us before the game, you know, we asked him why has he been so much better with the command. And it's not like he was bad last year. Look, you walked 26 in 83 innings. That's not a bad number. But he said sometimes he really spins off towards the third base side. And that last pitch before that, he spun off pretty bad. He kind of lands on the side of his foot a little bit versus landing flat with that front foot. It's all about opening up your front shoulders. And when you start opening up, I mean, your front shoulders is your aiming point. That's your steering wheel for a starting pitcher. So as you go down the slope towards home plate, you want to keep your chin and your front elbow, your glove arm in the target as long as you can. When we kind of get east to west sometimes, that's when things really start to go sideways.
David Kopp out there to the mound to talk to the left-handed Barco.
See if he makes some adjustments, because that's what I see him doing, kind of spinning off a little bit towards third base.
Well, was awesome listening to you and Sully talk about pitching and some of the nuances of the game earlier today.
Yeah, I love talking to Sully. I mean, Sully's got the pitching background, you know, calls all the pitches and works with his guys. That was better. Kept his front shoulder in a lot better there.
Goes down as ball one to Tyler McManus, who was hit by a pitch his first time up.
Yeah, McManus just now starting to heat up at the plate for the Tigers. I mean, he's a transfer in from Samford University. Hit .356 last year, 11 home runs, drove in 55. So there's some pop there. A couple of home runs as of late. Alex Maliza, we have not talked a lot about. LSU's #1 catcher back in Houston. You know, about 3 weekends ago, he sprained his knee and has not been able to return. He's expected back any day now.
Yeah, they thought that there was a chance that he could play this weekend, but took some BP and still just having trouble doing the things that catchers need to do.
And McManus on paper is supposed to be the better offensive catcher of the two, but Alex Maliza from a defensive standpoint, not many better than him as far as catch and throw guys go.
McManus homered in back-to-back games against A&M on Friday and Saturday. His first home runs as an LSU Tiger. This is out to short. Rivera, halter, over to Kalilau, and that'll do it. A bit of a struggle for Barco, but his defense steps up. The old 6-4-3 double play. Florida leading LSU. It's 1-0 as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Jay Johnson joins us, the head coach of LSU in his first season, second SEC series of his LSU career. And Coach, obviously, you got the first one under your belt, and here we are week 2, and they send you down to Gainesville. Hey, welcome to the league, right?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are the standard right now. So we want to get back up to the top tier of the league, and the only way to do it is through it. So it's a good place to be for the Tigers this weekend.
What do you think about your Friday night guy, Blake Money? He's been pretty good so far.
Lead
off home run, but he's been able to mix in his breaking stuff as of late.
Yeah, he's done a good job keeping off balance. Coach Kelly's doing a good job. You can't get behind in the count like he did to the leadoff guy there. But other than that, he's been really sharp.
Coach, you guys have done a good job with Barco. He's thrown a lot of pitches. You've drawn some walks. He's hit a batter. You've barreled some balls. You feel pretty good about where you are offensively?
Yeah, I do. I do. The first inning wasn't great, but other than that, we've been pretty good. We're getting guys out there, and we just got to keep stringing good at-bats together and, you know, get them out of the game, not only for tonight, but for the rest of the weekend.
All right. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch up with you down the road. Jay Johnson going back. He said earlier he was doing one of these earlier. You might have been working the game. Somebody hit a home run while he was on the headset.
Yeah. He was screaming go as it was in the air.
Well, he was trying to get that headset off before the first pitch, just in case. But Blake Money looks like he has settled in after that first inning.
Well, that's been the difference right there. Been able to land that changeup in those plus counts. So 1-0 count, he doesn't give in and throw the fastball. He takes a little bit off with that circle change again to get right back into count 1-1. And for me, that's been the difference. And really at any level you pitch at, Dave, you know this. I mean, anytime you can throw something other than the fastball count, it is normally money.
Nice catch out in left field by Dugas. That ball was barreled. Allowed out.
I'd like to see some exit velo on that one.
So Langford is retired, and VT Raupel will step in. Now, I just wrote down that ball was a line drive out to left
field. I got L.
Okay, I was going to say, you put F?
No, that is not an F.
Okay.
That is a L every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
That one's popped up. Will it stay in play? Doesn't appear so. It'll bounce off the top of that dugout. And a nice catch on the front row of the second level.
Yeah, an F just kind of looks like, you know, look at the scorebook like a weak fly ball to me. Like if a guy barrels it up like that, it's an L for me.
Okay, all right, just checking. You're old school. So I'm going to use this. I got, you know, they make these erasable pins now. So I'm going to erase that just because you scolded me just then.
Well, they got white out too, and I keep that.
I might get you some of these pins.
Erasable pin. Didn't know they had such a thing.
Yeah, they're good too. They used to have a long time ago, but they were never good. Raupel will look at a ball, 2-1. BT with 4 homers and 12 runs batted in. BT out of Lassiter High School in Marietta, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, was a quarterback and a punter on the football team, as well as obviously a good baseball player. Hit 270 last year at Coastal Carolina. That one is barreled out in the right center. It is a hard hit ball that will leave the yard right over the 380 sign. And BT just hit his 5th of the year.
Well, you talk about barreled up. And twice Blake Money tonight has got in 3-1 counts. Twice he has thrown fastballs, and twice the ball has left the yard. And Riopelle, I tell you what, that's putting a barrel on one, and he knew it right away. Boy, he even got to first base already with a little bit of a home run.
That is 2 home runs tonight for Florida, 45 on the year. And now Kendrick Kalilau will step in. How about that celebration? Get a little dessert, yeah, with the home run.
What was that, a donut?
Looked like donut, a little whipped cream. There's a strike.
We got to find out what that's all about, Dave Neal.
That was like maybe an eclair of some sort. I know how you like your pastries. You're big into pastry. Let's see what that was. What was that?
Oh, we got the chefs out. A little water. And, oh, that's it. Okay.
Is that a hot dog bun?
That might be some whipped cream out of a can, and you chase it with a little piece of bread or something. I'm not sure. He won't need dinner tonight.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, is that what we're doing? We're doing some canned whipped cream and chasing it down with
that's what
the
it looked
hot
like to
bun.
me. And how about the chef coming in with had the hat on and everything?
I wonder how Chris Burke, our buddy Chris Burke, would feel about today's home run celebrations.
Oh, he'd have something to say.
Oh, yeah, you know he would. The fact that he doesn't have a microphone right now is probably killing him.
He's probably at home practicing.
Yeah. There's ball 4. And Kalilau will stroll down to first. Hey, Saturday afternoon, we'll have softball from Lexington. Game 2 of a 3-game series between 18th ranked Auburn, 13th ranked Kentucky. Coverage begins at 1 o'clock Eastern right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Game 1 of that series is tonight. Auburn leads the SEC with a 5-1 record. They're off to a great start, 26-2 overall. Kentucky can swing it with the best of them. Tied for first in the SEC in batting average. That'll be a lot of fun coming your way Saturday, excuse me, at 1 o'clock Eastern. Josh Rivera now. Lee Johnson makes a quick trip out of that dugout to talk to Blake Money.
Yeah, this conversation's got to be about getting ahead. You know, he fell behind Langford, line drive out to left field, falls behind Riopelle. You get a home run. Of course, walks Kalilau, and he's behind Rivera. What a tough job this is for Blake Money. You know, again, a guy that only had 2 starts last year. Didn't pitch very much at all. Matter of fact, just 28 innings pitched last year. Gave up 39 hits in those 28 innings. And he goes from that to being the Friday night guy at LSU. So a learning year for him.
I need to go ask Trey Morgan, by the way, what's up with his hat. It doesn't matter. It's not the same color as the other teams.
It almost looks like a last year's hat.
Yeah.
And you can't blame him for wearing it because all he did in 30 SEC games was hit 390. last year. So I guess if you hit 390, you're going to keep the same hat.
Yeah, but it's just a different color. Look at that.
I think
purple.
it's just all faded out from last year.
See if I can get to the bottom of that. Tennessee, by the way, up 6-0 on Ole Miss already, and they're in the second. Top of the second.
Yeah, this. You know, we knew Tennessee was going to hit a little bit. Oh, they lost, what, their shortstop, third baseman, catcher. I think they lost some spots around. But you knew they were going to hit. They had some good pieces coming back. The question was the depth of the pitching staff. And the pitching staff is right up at the top of the league, too. So #1 in offense, #1 with a team ERA of 1.9 coming in. I mean, it's not many holes in this team at all. From a defensive standpoint, 4th in the league. So top 5 in just about every category.
Little check swing. They could turn 2 here. Money out to Doty, over to Trey Morgan, and the inning is over. So the little discussion apparently said, hey, just try to get a little ground ball back to you and you can turn 2. Well, it worked out pretty well. The long ball to take a 2-0 lead. This was the leadoff batter, Colby Halter, back in the top of the first inning, or bottom of the first inning, with his 5th home run of the year. And then in the 4th inning, this is what it looked like for BT Ryopel. A smash over the 380 sign in right center.
Well, we told you the Gators can hit the fastball, especially when you get them in fastball counts. And both times Blake Money fell to 3 balls and 1 strike and threw a fastball. They both left the yard.
DeGiacomo will lead things off. He'll be followed by Drew Bianco and then Dylan Cruz. A good crowd tonight on a gorgeous evening here in Gainesville, Florida. What just a beautiful setting. Off the fist, little pop-up over to Fabian, 1 down. You know, it's COVID did not allow us to come to this ballpark the last couple of years, and it's our first trip here, as we've talked about a little bit, but it just brings up to mind how special this conference is, and the administration's focus on baseball and how they believe it's a big part of their athletic department in this league. And the resources that are given to these coaches, the salaries and these facilities. You just wonder at some point, do the elite, the Power 5 teams in this league, in this country, in this college baseball world, decide to say, you know what, we don't want to be held back from a financial standpoint, paying third assistants, coaches, whatever the issue may be. Because in this sport, I don't know. I mean, it may be bigger than in any other sport that I see, and that is the haves and have-nots.
And look, in the SEC, it's become an arms race, you know, at ballparks. Yeah. But no other team deserved a new ballpark from a performance standpoint than Florida, right? I mean, suddenly, in 13 full seasons, he's been to Omaha 7 out of 13 years. I mean, it just screamed new ballpark. There's that good fastball on the inside part of the plate. And so you look what's going on around the league. I mean, Mississippi State, what they have built. Alabama's new ballpark. Kentucky got a new one. Ole Miss is doing their 2nd renovation, in 5 years?
Bianco lifts it high into center field, and that is where Fabian is camped out and will make the catch. 2 down. You just wonder, though, if there's even a discrepancy. A lot of schools that play Division I baseball don't even give out 11.7 scholarships.
Yes.
They may only offer up 5 and divvy them up.
No doubt. It's, everybody thinks it's an even playing field, but it's not. I mean, 'cause like you said, not everybody. And some states have an advantage over TOPS programs like Louisiana have, and it's, for all the kids, and I think Georgia's got the Hope program, which helps out. And the Mississippi schools don't have any kind of help that I'm aware of.
But they have help now called the NIL.
Right, and that changes everything, by the way.
Right.
And I think there was an error made on the berm down there. I mean, the effort was good. I like the effort, but check out the finish here.
And they didn't even get the ball. You know what? He can laugh about it.
What's his son think about Pops right now? Come on, Dad. Make the play.
Tell you what, the next time that Dad says something about him catching a fly ball with 2 hands, staying on your feet.
Don't think Junior's ever going to forget that one.
What a great night, though, to be out in the ballpark. Oh, 2 on Dylan Cruz. And that is out number 3, strike number 3. We will visit with that man, Kevin O'Sullivan, when we come back. At Florida Ballpark in Gainesville, Florida. Dave Neal, Ben McDonald, and joining us down in that Florida Gator dugout is their skipper, Kevin O'Sullivan. Sully, thanks for joining us. And I know you've been in here a bunch of games, but this has been a nice first trip into this ballpark. What does this do for your program, having this kind of environment now as you move forward?
Well, I think it certainly is. It's great for the fans. It's great for our players, and you know, in our league, the facilities are, they keep getting better and better. So, obviously, we're really pleased with our ballpark and the ballpark here.
Sully, what do you think about Blake Money? I mean, he's thrown a lot of off speeds, but ever since Colby Halter hit the leadoff home run, he's kind of going to a lot of breaking balls and changeups. You guys starting to sit on that a little bit?
Well, we're trying to. He's done a nice job mixing his pitches, and I think we got the 2-3-1 counts, and BT ran into a fastball there, and obviously Colby started the game with a home run, but 2 runs is not going to be enough. We're going to have to keep scoring runs.
Hey, Sully, one last thing. I'll let you go. That's a foul ball, so got a second. With Barco, he walked a couple of guys, hit a batter, not him. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, he's been uncarried. He had 2 walks come in. I think he's got 3 walks and a hit by batter, and but he had Dugal 0-2, and then it ended up being a walk. And Walk Thompson's on 4 straight. We took a visit. We got a big double play on McManus there, 6-4-3. So he hasn't been particularly sharp, but he certainly made some pitches when he needed to.
There's a base hit by Armstrong. We'll let you get going, buddy. Thanks for joining us, Sully.
Yeah, was that a change?
Yes.
Yes. You told him to sit on it,
That's
right?
good coaching.
I love it. I love it.
Well, and you wonder, this is a lineup that's been around a little bit, and the fact that Blake Money's gone to so many, you got to wonder, as a hitter, you can take a chance when you got the count in your favor, 1-0, 2-0, 3-1 type counts. You can almost take a chance and sit on an off-speed pitch, and this is the kind of lineup that will do that to you.
He was kind of joking. Armstrong was warming up right in front of him before we came back on the air, before we started the interview. He's down. I think that was Chuck Geralman down there next to him. He says, I told the guys I was, and he reached out and he said, hey, Armstrong, sit on that change, just as a joke. And what did he do?
He sat on it and found the barrel.
Right.
Well, that's what you hope that your offense can do when they start seeing a pitcher for the second or the third time through the line. You hope there's some adjustments being made, and clearly Florida's starting to make some adjustments.
You've seen Blake quite a bit this year. Has he thrown this many changeups?
No.
Yeah. Not
this many. I mean, you go back his first 3 starts of the year, and he was, and again, the competition wasn't like this. So it was against Maine and Towson. Now, it was a pretty good club in Oklahoma down in the Shriners Classic in Houston, but he was pretty much fastball heavy with the breaking ball. The changeup is just something that he started mixing in really his last couple of starts because he knew when SEC play rolled around that he would have to have that pitch.
There's a strike 1-1 to Derek Fabian, the 9-hole hitter. Derek flew out his first time up. Armstrong gets back. Armstrong has not attempted a stolen base this year.
Yeah, Florida, a lot like LSU, do not steal many bases. I mean, Florida came in with 18 bags. That's 8th best in the SEC. LSU, only 11 stolen bases on the year.
Oh, lays down the bunt. Matter of fact, he deadened it too good, and then a bad throw from McManus. Just tailed away from Thompson. And everybody's safe.
Yeah, I love the aggressiveness by McManus. So the bunt's not a great one. It's right in front of home plate. Watch McManus kicks the mask off really quick, grabs the ball. That's the play at second base. So watch this ball tail right at the last second. Boy, Jordan Thompson, that's one of those ones you like to see him be able to catch that ball and keep the foot on the bag somehow, but the ball had a lot of run back towards first base. You teach your infielders, always expect a bad throw. Never expect a good throw.
So first and second. And nobody out for the Gators here in their half of the fifth. That'll go as a sack bunt with the fielder's choice. There's another bunt down the left side. Barry will let that roll foul. Kobe Halter hit a home run earlier, has 5 of them on the year.
Yeah, and this is something Florida's been doing to me a little bit more than in years past. Although they can bang it. We talked about the home runs. 2 tonight, 3rd most home runs in all of college baseball. But yet they will put the ball on the ground from time to time.
If they do it again with 1 strike. Nobody out in the inning, and you got Judd Fabian. Judd's got an 11-game hit streak rolling along as he got a base hit back in the 3rd. No bunt this time. Out to center field. Dylan Cruz back to the track. That'll get Armstrong over to 3rd. They'll have him at the corners.
Yeah, productive at bat straight away center field. Biggest part of the ballpark. That puts Dylan Cruz all the way back to the warning track. So now a 1st and 3rd situation, and Blake Money looking for 1 of 2 things. That ground ball double play or a strikeout in this situation.
So here's Judd Fabian, 1 for 2 tonight. His average sitting at 325. The 2-hole hitter struck out and then singled.
Yeah, Judd Fabian's been a totally different hitter this year. I mean, I was kind of crunching some of his numbers. We talked about, the 4 home runs last 5 games, 7 homers the last 10 games. But you look at the batting average. He hit 249 this year, came in hitting 320 this year. 75 at-bats, Dave Neal, this year is all he got. So 1/3 of the at-bats he had last year. Had 225 at-bats last year, but yet he's already half as many home runs in 1/3 of the amount of the at-bats. The walks are way up, and the strikeouts is a big thing for me. I mean, that was a big knock on Fabian last year. He struck out about 1 out of every 3 at-bats last year. That's up 1 over every 4 at-bats this year. So seeing the ball better, not offering and chasing as many bad pitches, and this paid off for him. The walks are up, the batting average is up, the home run pace is up, a 30 home run pace. Now, whether he gets there or not is another thing.
What was that discussion about? What do you think?
I think it was really to talk about, okay, who we're facing, going over the scout report one more time, how we want to attack him in this situation. And the goal is to create a ground ball right here until you get to 2 strikes. Now, once you get to 2 strikes, then we're going to think strikeout at that point.
That was pitch number 70 for Blake Money.
I mean, there's not a whole lot, that you can pitch around this lineup when you get to this part of it, because you got Fabian. Thompson's having an outstanding year. Then you got Wyatt Langford behind him, 385, 8 homers coming in. So it's about making pitches. You really can't pitch around anybody here.
Oh, 0-2 on Fabian. The Gators have struggled with runners on base tonight. They're 0 for 7.
Yeah, Money's been able to make some big pitches when he's needed to. But none more important in this situation. And he's got Fabian, who has a history of striking out.
Fabian, one of the nation's top players, and certainly a player of the year candidate in this league. We'll watch ball 1 miss on the outside by a bit.
See, for me, that's how Fabian's grown this year. That ball's about a ball off the outside corner. Last year, he swung at that ball a lot. The breaking balls down the way, he chased a lot. I think if you're Blake Money, you want to try to elevate a fastball here, not in the strike zone, but maybe just above. Try to change the eye level. Maybe you get a swing through. And then if you miss on that, and he doesn't offer, back to the breaking ball. Goes with the changeup instead. That's going to take the double play out of order.
Yep. That'll get Fabian down to second base. Well, not much McManus could do with that. It was down in the dirt.
That's a really good read by Derek Fabian, the freshman over at first base. Nice job by McManus just to keep this ball in front, but a really good dirt ball read by Fabian. So now this does change things a little bit. So first base is open against one of the hottest hitters in baseball. So now it's about making your pitches, not giving in.
And he misses outside. 3-2 now.
Still no way you give in here. No way you give in with first base open, because all that does is create the ground ball double play, even if you walk.
Armstrong is at third. Fabian is at second. Older brother Judd at the plate. To short. Thompson, big arm, across the diamond. They're going to say safe at first. Trey Morgan thought he put the tag on him, and it almost from the first look at that is that he did.
Well, there's no doubt. I think he tagged him. The question is, does Fabian's foot hit the bag before the tag is applied by Morgan? What an outstanding play.
Run does score, though.
Watch Jordan Thompson going to hold backhand side. Fabian can run quickly to his feet, rifle across. There's the tag. The tag looked like it was definitely made. Now we're going to see, does a foot get there or not? Boy, that is close. See the tag being applied to the left arm of Fabian. Tag is there now. Boy, that is close. That is close.
I don't want to make that one. I don't think I need to be making that call. And again, you have to have indisputable video evidence to overturn the call of safe, and I don't know that you can. I mean, we've looked at it 3 times.
And I mean, Judd Fabian just barely got the big toe on the front of the bag. He almost short-stepped that too much and missed the entire bag.
Well, run does score. Either way in Armstrong.
Watch the left foot by Fabian. I mean, if it's there, it is barely there. And he kind of drags that foot. He knew he was a little bit short, so he kind of drug that left foot across the bag just to make sure. Here's a better look at it as far as where his left foot is.
They're going to say he was tagged. But Judd will pick up an RBI out of the situation, and Florida's lead is 3, but there's 2 outs in the inning. A younger brother, Derek, out at second base. Boy, how about the arm from Thompson?
Yeah.
Deep in the hole, throws a 95-mile-an-hour fastball across the diamond.
Jordan Thompson's got all the, I mean, I know the errors have been there this year, but he's got all the tools to be an elite-type shortstop. And those are the plays that he's made from what I've seen this year. It's been kind of the routine play when he has a little bit of time to think about it is the one he's kicked a little bit this year. But the plus plays when he's got to go into the hole towards second or back towards third, he's got some athletic ability.
Doesn't get any easier. Sterling Thompson steps in, the sophomore out of Ocala, Florida. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. First pitch he sees, slices that one down the line in foul territory. That LSU bullpen starting to get busy.
Yeah, Blake Money up to 75 pitches.
Boy, if he could get out of this and give him one more. That would help for the weekend for sure. There's a strike, 0-2.
Now all of a sudden see Money He's thrown that changeup and that breaking ball so much, it's almost like Florida's starting to sit on it a lot. So now trying to incorporate the fastball and get it going again.
That ball is hammered out to right field. Fabian turns the corner. He will score, and an RBI single for Sterling Thompson, his 20th run batted in of the year, and it's 4-0 Florida.
Yeah, Blake Money would love to have this one back. Worked so hard to get an 0-2 count, and watch the location is 2 strike. It's just too good. I mean, it's outer third, and he knew it. Trying to get off the plate with that ball about 6 inches. It never got there. Sterling Thompson makes it pay for it. His 20th RBI of the year, and the Florida Gators have taken a 4-0 lead now.
Wyatt Langford will step in 0 for 2. Fielder's choice and a line out. Young man with just a ton of raw power. And there is a glimpse of that power.
That's stretching one out there, Dave Neal. Now that's a plan, right? You go up to home plate and you say, you know what, I'm going to sit on an off-speed pitch. If he throws me a fastball, I'll just take it for strike one. But if he throws that breaking ball, I'm going to be all over it. And Wyatt Langford all over it again. And there's the whipped cream. What else we got? Well, I got give me the bun. There we go. Whipped cream's got to taste better than just a plain bun.
That is, it didn't take him long to spit that out.
No, you want none of that. Whipped cream, okay. Bun, no.
Wyatt Langford, a guy that's really changed his body. He doesn't have a whole lot of body fat on him. He's not about to take that whipped cream and bread. This is a guy that only got 4 at-bats last year. This year he has 9 home runs and 25 RBIs and is hitting over 380. Out straight back, 1-2 now on Ryapel.
It's just the kind of offense that you can't get behind on, and you can't make bad pitches. You know, it seems like every ball that's been mistakes have been turned around. I mean, barreled up. 46 home runs now. They hit 10 home runs in last weekend's series alone.
And that is a called strike 3, inning over, but a good one for the Gators. They push 4 across, and the big blast from Wyatt Langford. Florida Gators, the LSU Tigers from Gainesville, Florida, this beautiful college town, on a gorgeous night at Florida Ballpark. Let some fireworks off the bats of the Florida Gators tonight. 3 home runs. They're up to 46, but still 13 behind Tennessee.
That's crazy.
And
that was what, their 22nd game of the year?
And now you give Hunter Barco a 6-run advantage. He'll face Cade Doty, Trey Morgan, and Jacob Berry. So the heart of this lineup. Dylan Cruz ended the 5th with a strikeout. So 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, not much better than a 6-0 lead in the 6th. Maybe 7-0. But if you're the ace that Hunter Barco has been really for 2 years now.
Coming into this game, Barco had a .61 whip. Walks, hits, combined per inning, 7th best whip in the NCAA.
Boy, that's the one there, Dave Neal, that'll hurt your feelings. I'm going to tell you. Watch where this ball starts and then watch where it ends up. So the low arm slide throwing across his body. That ball starts about 18 inches off the outside corner, ends up dotting the I right on the inside corner of the plate. And folks, you're looking at what's probably going to be in the July draft just 4 months away, the #1 pitcher taken off the board in college baseball.
That one misses to Trey Morgan, who's moved down to the 3-hole today after spending most of the season at the leadoff spot. Dylan Cruz moved up today as Jay Johnson was trying to shake this lineup a bit.
It's just been a lineup. I mean, the runs per game is good, but it's been kind of all or nothing for LSU this year. Either they put up big numbers or they've had trouble scoring. Now, Hunter Barco will do that to you. He can throw some zeros on the scoreboard. I don't care who you are.
Morgan's 0 for 2. Out to right, and that one is caught on the run by Sterling Thompson. Hit it hard, but right where Thompson could grab it.
I'm going to give that one an L, too.
Yeah, I think I would give that one an L, too, as well. I mean, hey, LSU has barreled a bunch of balls here tonight.
They have. I mean, the approach has been pretty good. I mean, 5 strikeouts on the night, which isn't a terrible number. LSU struck out 20 times on Wednesday night against Louisiana Tech in a 12-inning ball game.
6 straight retired by Barco. Barry's one of those guys that barreled it back in the 4th inning. Thought he might have gotten one out of here, but caught right up against the wall by Wyatt Langford and left. Boy, Barry wasn't even ready to hit. He's going to slow down a little bit. Barco, he is ready to go.
I mean, he never gets off the mound. I mean, he receives it on the mound and right back on the bump he goes.
And misses upstairs. It's 3-0. See? The slow play by Barry, the veteran move.
Oh!
And Barry not too pleased with that.
Yeah, that was a little bit different. I mean, you're talking about a guy that had 2 walks coming in and 1 hit batter, and you get to a 3-0 count, and like it's nowhere near the strike zone.
That was a strange at-bat. Barry stepped in the batter's box one time, didn't even take the bat off his shoulder. See where that leads. A breaking ball that misses. Barco taking a deep breath. Hunter is now up to 87 pitches. We got strikeout and a line out. The first 2 guys, Doty and Morgan, hit Barry, and now 2-0 on Dugas. That one's fouled on a play. It'll be 2-1. Gavin is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. LSU's only had a base runner reach second twice tonight.
Yeah, and you get the feeling it's going to take some base runners in the big blow to get back in this one, because you're not likely to group a bunch of hits together against Hunter Barco. But what you can do is get the count in your favor like it is right now and sit on the fastball and try to find the barrel.
Ugas with 1 home run this year, 13 runs batted in. Boy, he missed it. Got what he was looking for, fouled it off. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. And now it's full 3-2.
But it was a quality fastball in the 3-1 count. It wasn't center part of the plate. It was down and away. And Barco will do 2 different things. You know, Sully told us before the game he's going to throw a 2-seam fastball that he'll try to sink down and away to the right-handers, and he'll throw a 4-seamer as well. That one was a little less velo and had a little bit of movement to me, which told me that was probably the 2-seam fastball.
Struck him out. Battled back. Barco looking around. He will leave with a 6-0 lead. Night is over. 5 innings, 3 strikeouts, 3 home runs though. The last of which was a 2-run shot off the bat of Wyatt Langford that provided some of this separation.
And he'll give way to Bryce Collins out of California. He hit the transfer portal, followed his head coach Jay Johnson to LSU. 6', 180-pound sophomore, big breaking ball. It is a real over-the-hand tight breaking ball. Numbers have been good this year. 1-0 with a 2.08 ERA, 10 strikeouts in those 8-innings pitch. Fastball is going to get into the low 90s with a really good breaking ball go right behind it. And his goal is to stack some zeros and give this LSU offense a chance in the back third of this game.
Kendrick Calilau will be the first one up for the Gators. He will look at ball 1. Collins didn't pitch the last 2 years at Arizona due to an injury, but he did pitch in 2019. Started 4 of those games.
Yeah, he came to Arizona with a lot of fanfare. Turned down a good bit of money and had an operation, surgery not long after hitting campus, and took him a couple years to get it back. He's had a pretty good season so far in the LSU uniform. And used just out of the bullpen only, which will probably be his role this year. When you lay off for 2 years, you know, you don't want to get a whole lot of innings under your belt. Just got to get your feet wet again. And there's that good breaking ball, just missed. He'll shape that breaking ball a couple of different ways. That's more of the slider. He'll take a little bit off and shape it a little bit bigger from time to time.
Hey, Wednesday afternoon, it's Alabama's Pro Day on the SEC Network. Top Crimson Tide players will showcase their skills for NFL scouts and front office personnel. It's at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, noon Central, Wednesday, right here on this very network. Alabama had 11 players invited to the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, including their O-lineman Evan Neal, who's a possible first overall pick.
An offensive lineman?
Yeah, not related to me, by the way. Although I would be if he wants to provide some NIL type stuff for me. Tell you what, as a Falcons fan, we could use Evan.
Falcons have the first pick?
No, we need offensive linemen and a quarterback. You know any quarterbacks to be available? We don't have one anymore. Look how I throw it.
I saw that.
Yeah. Rivera pops it up high into this Gainesville sky. Miscommunication between McManus and Berry, and it drops right between them.
Yeah, and I'm not sure anybody ever called the ball. And you can see Jacob Berry at the last second. He takes his eye. He's got the ball right here, but watch him in the last second. Looks over at the catcher, McManus, just for a second. No, and this is the kind of things it's been for LSU this year. It's been kind of strange stuff. That's just lack of communication. Somebody's got to call the ball.
They're going to give Barry the error. Popped up, though, and, well, Florida gives him the gift right back. First out of the inning. And Rivera is retired. And here comes Chris Armstrong. You know, it's plays like that, I think, in talking Coach Johnson today about this. Those are the things, because he is such a competitive person that's got to drive him crazy.
That would drive any coach crazy, you know. And it's been weird. I mean, been some just routine fly balls dropped in the outfield, stuff like that. You see, not covering first base, just little things.
To get to this point in the world of college baseball, obviously you've got to have a good eye for talent. You got to work your tail off, put together teams that, you know, match what your philosophy is. And I think the first couple of things we talked about certainly are there. And he's got to try to find a team that somehow, whether it's this team or the next team,
right,
to match what he's trying to do. And it's been tough early on.
Yeah, it's tough when you're a first-year coach because you want to bring in your plan and your approach at the plate and the things that you like to do. And while this is an ultra-talented team from an offensive standpoint, what we've seen in college baseball the last couple of years because of a 5-round draft, because of COVID and everybody got a year of eligibility back, this is a young team. You compare it to like teams like Tennessee has and Ole Miss has, which is an older team, which has 22, 23-year-old kids on it. This LSU team, you go around, I mean, Jacob Berry's second year in a college uniform, Trey Morgan's second year, Jordan Thompson's second year, Dylan Cruz's second year. And so it's not an extremely veteran type team. And what we're seeing now in college baseball is a lot of times experience is beginning to trump talent now.
Blake Money, second year.
Yes.
There's a walk to Armstrong, so 2 on and 1 out. And 9-hole hitter Derek Fabian will step in.
And that's what Jay Johnson, he's trying to build this LSU program back to what it was years ago. I mean, you go back and look, since 2018, LSU is 45-45 in Southeastern Conference play, a 500 team since 2018. So clearly the trend at LSU the last had been going down a little bit, you know, and you get a coaching change and Jay Johnson's going to try to come in and I mean, he says that's his goal, is to build this program back to its heyday, back to where it was some years ago. And it doesn't happen overnight. Now the transfer portal can help a lot now. Like you can go out and get dudes now and you can fill in some holes when you have some holes.
Fabian, the freshman third baseman, 0 for 1. Jay Johnson out to the mound to talk to Collins. I haven't seen anybody throw in the last couple of minutes out there in that LSU bullpen.
Yeah, this is about Collins. You know, hey, this team is too good. If you're going to work behind, you know, you're going to be in trouble. We got to get to strike one, quality strikes. We got to attack the strike zone. And the pitching has, you know, it doesn't look like it, but on paper, the pitching for LSU has been better this year. I mean, you talk about a 3.3 ERA coming in, 5th best in the SEC. You go back and look at last year's ERA, 4.53 ERA. New pitching coach Jason Kelly, and that was a big push of his, like it is for a lot of pitching coaches across. Hey, we got to throw strikes. We got to throw more strikes this year. We got to attack strike zones more than what you guys have done in the past.
And it's 3-0. Ben, you talked about it. You know, you just don't want to start running through a bunch of arms on a Friday night after you had to play 12 innings and use a bunch of pitchers in your midweek game against Louisiana Tech.
Well, and that's exactly what happened to LSU last Friday night. I mean, Ty Floyd, the starter, went 2 innings, and LSU ended up using 7 pitchers on a Friday night. And when you do that, it just sets you back for the weekend.
I think they had a total of 18 pitching changes last weekend at Texas A&M against Texas A&M.
Yeah, I know. I was there.
You saw them all? You saw all this?
All 3 games went over 4 hours. One game was 4 hours and 52 minutes, a 9-inning game.
Wow.
That's getting your money's worth if you're a fan.
Collins has battled back to make it 3-2. Time called at the plate. Derek Fabian was Florida's Mr. Baseball last year. .87 miles an hour, fouled off. Fabian will get another pitch.
You know, Florida's always got dudes. Always. I mean, the recruiting class is coming in next year. Sully was telling us is towards the top of the bunch. The class he brought in this year, he said, might be his favorite class. Now, they've had some injuries. One of their big-time arms has gone down. Freshman pitchers.
Misses with 92, and they're loaded behind 3 walks.
And now you roll it right back to the top in Colby Halter, who we know after his first at bat tonight, he can turn around a fastball.
So here is Colby Halter, who started the game for Florida with a home run. And this is what it looked like.
Yeah, 3-1 count, looking fastball, and he got one. And what a move to the baseball that was. Pulled those hands in, and he found the barrel. Got a little whipped cream when he got back to the dugout.
There is a strike. Florida 6 for 32 this year with the bases loaded. Colby Halter 0 for 1 this year. Fouled it back, 1-2 now. Georgia's leading Kentucky in the 8th, 4-2. That's up in Lexington. Arkansas's leading Missouri 5-3. That one is in Columbia, Missouri. And the shocker of the night, though, happens in Columbia. South Carolina, which got shellacked last night by Vanderbilt, leads 7-2 in the bottom of the 6th over the Commodores. 11 hits for the Gamecocks.
Wow. That should have been, what, McIlvain going for Vanderbilt on Friday night? Now, Georgia's got a real ace. Jonathan Cannon now. He looks like a real dude.
Cannon is a big right-hander that has played himself into a first-round pick. Mid-90s with a cutter.
Yeah, and, you know, this league feels very offensive to what it's felt like the last few years. You know, there's some pitchers out there like Cannon who's never really done it before but could emerge as a real ace. Hunter Barco might be the true ace that kind of did it last year, won 10 ball games. But you go around the league and there's a lot of guys that could be aces, just never really done it yet. We had Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker and other guys that we knew were aces last year.
Thompson can't make a play. They're going to say infield fly rule was in effect.
Now, I'm not sure. Now, infield fly rule. Batter's automatically out, correct? On the infield fly rule.
Right,
but
he's out.
But the runners can advance at their own discretion. And so the run should count. And he doesn't have to go back to the bag and tag up because, right, the ball was not
dropped.
caught.
Right.
Because I never saw Kalilau get all the way back to the bag. For fly ball, yeah, he is getting back. Okay. But then he gets off.
So he'll score.
Yeah.
It's a live ball in that situation. The runners can advance. But the batter is automatically out. So 2 outs, and the run is across, and it's 7-0 Florida. Out to left field. Dugas will make the catch. Florida picks up 1. Lead it by a touchdown.
Update: Tennessee on the road taking on Ole Miss. You guys are seeing some great pitching performances out there. How about another one? Chase Burns with a no-hitter through 4. He just gave up his first, but 9 Ks so far through 5 innings. Up big on the #1 team in the country.
Thanks, Alyssa. And yeah, I mean, we were talking about shocking score. South Carolina certainly leading Vanderbilt is shocking, but shocking, not that Tennessee's leading, but the fact that they're leading 10-0 on the road is crazy.
And we knew Tennessee had a solid team, but I don't think nobody thought they were going to do this.
Thompson will lead things off. Barco, by the way, 6 innings, 1 hit, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, and he hit a couple of batters. Eight flyouts, 3 ground outs. Sully said he was right around that 100 pitch mark is his number. That's a little blooper. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Take him where you can get him.
Well, this is what Florida's ace has done so far tonight. Been really good. And he started it off right from the beginning. Dylan Cruz elevates a fastball for his first strikeout. The breaking ball has been really good. Been able to land it in fastball counts. There's a good changeup. So he's used them all. Paints the inside corner with a breaking ball. Gets a fastball by Dugas. So 6 strikeouts on the night. And he's only allowed 1, and actually 2 hits now as Jordan Thompson dumps that one in. I mean, he's looked like the real guy that we thought we would see, other than 3 walks. I mean, we didn't expect 3 walks in a hit batter because he'd only walked 2 coming in. But other than that, the stuff's been first-round stuff.
So back to that infield fly rule. It goes down. He scored as an infield fly, but they actually give him an RBI, almost like a sacrifice fly, I would suspect. So Halter does pick up an RBI. However strange that is. He'll take it.
Well, the bottom line is that's the second pop-up that LSU did not catch tonight. You know, balls that need to be caught, should be caught. Cost them a run.
Auburn's beaten Texas A&M 3-1. There's a strikeout for Barco. That is his seventh.
Seventh on the night. Boy, he gets ahead. This is that changeup. LSU's been seeing so many backdoor breaking balls. He starts that one in the same place as that backdoor breaking ball, but instead of it coming into the right-hander, that changeup down and away. And perfectly placed by Hunter Barco, approaching 100 pitches now.
Giovanni DiGiacomo steps in, 0 for 2. His average has dipped down to 325. Hitting 8th in this lineup. Manning, Figueroa, ready to go.
Lefty and a righty just in case.
DiGiacomo did go. It's 0-2. Barco coming off a 10 strikeout performance last weekend against the Alabama Crimson Tide. 10 strikeouts and no walks. Man, that was kind of nasty. That was one of his best pitches of the night, wasn't it?
I mean, watch where it starts versus where it ends up. So it's almost behind the Giacomo. You can see he'd get jelly-legged a little bit. And when you get jelly-legged as a left-handed hitter versus a left-handed pitcher, you got no shot to get it started again.
Two down now for Drew Bianco. Drew, a couple of flyouts.
Starting to rack up the K signs out there, huh?
Fouled straight back, and it's 1-1. Bianco has flown out to center field. His 2 at-bats.
Yeah, Bianco hadn't been playing much this year. Only had 11 at-bats coming in.
.104 pitches now for Barco. His season high was 106, and that was last weekend in those 8 innings against the Tide.
Yeah, you get the feeling this very well, Dave, might be his last batter.
Out to center field. Fabian will make the catch. Hunter Barco, if that's it for his night, it was a good one. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Been a good night for some baseball here at Florida Ballpark. The homestanding Gators lead 7-0. Hunter Barco, 7 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, and 3 walks.
Yeah, Barco's been as good as advertised. You got to think that's the night for him. Pretty good hitting team LSU's got. One solid hit by Jacob Berry and a bloop single by Jordan Thompson, and that is it.
You know, some nights, it just seems like the ball left the bat better than 2 hits tonight for LSU. I mean, when
it's been better than what it's looked.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been 4 or 5 balls struck pretty hard. Went right to. But look, that's part of it.
Boy, if you're a fragile baseball team, being in the Southeastern Conference is not a good place to get over that hurdle.
You'll get your feelings hurt in a hurry. And once you get covered up, it's hard to get out of it. And that's why, you know, you have to be mentally tough.
Little slow roller back to Collins. A little underhand toss. That'll be one down as Thompson is retired.
Now, is Cade Doty all of a sudden playing shortstop? It's almost looked like him and Jordan Thompson have
flip-flopped.
Just flip-flop.
I just noticed that.
And we got a new catcher in the game. Hayden Travinsky takes over.
Yeah, Doty and Thompson have flip-flopped. Well, Georgia, Mississippi State last weekend saw those 2 out of 3 games. Those two teams, they shift defensively nearly every at-bat. We haven't seen a whole lot of that here tonight.
No. I tell you, Texas A&M last weekend shifted a bunch. Matter of fact, with one at-bat, Jacob Berry came to the plate with 2 out, nobody on. They had 4 outfielders. They took an infielder and pushed to the outfield, and it paid off perfectly. They put a guy out in right center field, and Berry hit a line drive right to him.
I need to get the exact numbers, but there was a study done about the shifting in baseball, and it was the averages were very similar with the shift and without a shift. Only a few percentage points. Are you a believer in the shift?
Yeah, I think it hurts left-handed hitters more than it hurts anybody, obviously. You know, the big lefties that come up. Anytime you can take the second baseman and play him in short right field, it's an advantage. And that's why Major League Baseball is most probably going to end the shift, and everybody's going to end up with their feet on the dirt when the pitch goes to home plate, just trying to create more offense in the pro game. You know, it was the whole reason why last year they got rid of the sticky stuff right in the middle of the season because, the batting averages was about to hit an all-time low in the history of Major League Baseball. Now, if the runs would have been there, nobody says anything, and they wouldn't be talking about, shifts either, any of that kind of stuff if there was enough run production. But we always talk about the 3 true outcomes in baseball, and you see it a lot at the Major League level, There was an average of 18 strikeouts per game last year between the 2 teams in the Big League Baseball, and it became walks, home runs, and strikeouts. That's what it's become. So trying to create a little bit more offense, maybe a little bit bigger bases we're hearing. Get rid of the shifts.
Langford's last time up. 2-run blast. Got out of here in a hurry down the left field line. It's 330 down the lines and 400 to straightaway center here at Florida Ballpark.
Yeah, definitely a little bit bigger ballpark than what the old one was. But I feel like the ball carries pretty good. Or it certainly did before the weather cooled off. Early in the game and in BP, a lot of big balls leaving the ballpark.
That's the 4th walk issued by Collins in his inning in the 3rd. And BT Riopel will step in. The Gator catcher is flown out, homered in the 4th, and struck out in the 5th.
BT Riopel transferred in from Coastal Carolina. You mentioned it earlier. 3-year starter there.
Runner goes. Travinsky's throw. Safe. That is just 6 inches closer to the second base side of that bag. He's got him.
Yeah, really a good jump by Langford. He off and moving right away. As soon as that leg is picked up, he's picking up, putting them down head first in. Cade Doty picks it up off the ground. Travinsky got rid of this ball pretty quick, just a little bit towards the third base side.
One 1-0 on Riopel. Little check swing. Interesting little switch right in the middle of this game between Doty and Thompson.
Well, they said Cade Doty played a lot of shortstop in fall ball, and they were trying to determine who was going to play shortstop this year. Cade Doty could certainly do it.
We're talking about shifts. LSU's got one on.
And you get the feeling that head coach Jay Johnson not happy with the effort by Jordan Thompson at shortstop on that fly ball. You know, the shortstop is the captain of the infield. The ball goes up, you got to go call it, and you got to catch it until you hear somebody behind you, which means the outfielders call it off. And if you want to be a shortstop in the SEC, it's got to be a type A personality. You go back to Dansby Swanson, some of the greats we've had. You talk about Alex Bregman, some of the greats we've had in the SEC. Type A personality, like the ball's mine. You're going to call me off of it.
So 2 down as Kendrick Kalilau now will step in. Yeah, there's no doubt Jay Johnson has challenged Thompson. You know, they working hour upon hour with his footwork at shortstop. One of the things they're trying to really improve, and as you mentioned, it's the routine ball.
Mm-hmm. The tools are there. I mean, the tools are there. But look, you can get a pitching slump, you can get in a hitting slump. Basketball time of the year, you can get in a shooting slump. You can get in a defensive slump too.
Boy, we saw that arm though earlier today. That's something
it's special. It's special. I'm telling you.
St. Peter's just knocked off Purdue, 67-64. Wow.
How's everybody's brackets doing, by the way?
I mean, it's bad news.
Gosh.
For
it was
everybody.
Busted early, too. Wasn't it? Kentucky go down right away, and it's like.
Gonzaga, Purdue. Been a crazy weekend. Kansas in a little battle tonight. Little check swing. 1-2 the count on Kalilau.
It's the best time of the year, isn't it? I mean, you got March Madness, SEC plays beginning. The big boys are spring training.
If they wouldn't have messed that up, pushed it back a couple of weeks, it'd be perfect.
That's right. Hey, I'm just glad they're in spring training.
Yes. Especially for.
Don't have to worry about it for 5 years.
It'd be one thing if you got to go down to spring training, but you got to go to Baltimore to do a spring training game.
Stay hot.
Stay hot. You are a lucky soul. Let's go to Baltimore.
Doesn't even feel right? Hey, come to Baltimore so you can call a game going on in Sarasota, Florida.
Yeah, it's like you're just, you're a couple hours away right now.
Maybe I'll just get a car and drive.
Just say, here I am. Here I am.
I actually didn't get a car. I got to rent a truck. I'm more of a truck kind of guy, so I'm driving around a truck.
I'm surprised you came in. I was like, where's this camo? And I looked down, you got your camo shoes on. There's some camo.
That's right. Like American Express, I'll never leave home without it.
South Carolina's pushed their lead to 8-2 in the 7th over Vanderbilt. Tennessee's up 11-0 over Ole Miss.
Ole Miss had a strange series last week, and they did beat Auburn 2 of 3, but Ole Miss blew out Auburn in game 1. Then they got boat raced in game 2, and then they blew out Auburn again in game 3.
Auburn up 3-1 on Texas A&M. That one's in College Station. Swing and a miss. So the walk goes for naught. We will head to the 8th inning, and Florida leads at 7-0. A big 4-run 5th provided the separation. That man we're looking at right there, Hunter Barco, in line to pick up what would be his 5th win of the year.
Yeah, that 1.7 ERA he came in with has considerably gone down as well. Outstanding effort.
Well, the new man on the bump now for the Gators is Nick Ficarota, the redshirt freshman out of Palm Harbor, Florida. Another tall, lanky right-hander, 6'3", 180.
Yeah. There's his numbers on the year, making his 12th appearance. Been very good, 2-0 with a 1.8 ERA. Love the strikeout to walk ratio. That's the first thing I always look for. 24 punch-outs in 24 innings pitched, just 3 walks. A little bit different arm slot here.
Yeah. Figueroa actually in his 3rd season with the Gators. Pitched in 2020. Did not pitch any last year. So a COVID, if you will, redshirt freshman. Made 2 appearances a couple of years ago. Facing Dylan Cruz. 2-2 on Cruz is 0 for 2. This is the 22nd game of the year for LSU. Dylan's only had 3 games where he went hitless. LSU 2 for 22 tonight at the plate. 0 for 10 with runners on. That one is foul, about 10 or 12 feet down that right field line. Now that was a heck of a game right there. Who's going to get the foul ball? Tell you what, it gets pretty aggressive at the SEC baseball tournament in Hoover.
Oh, gosh.
For those foul balls, doesn't it?
Kids are out for blood.
Yeah.
And they know right where to get to. They know where the majority of the foul balls go. They stacked up down there pretty good, too.
Just misses off the plate. Hey, tonight on SEC Now, our team will have all the highlights and analysis from the NCAA Women's Championship Sweet 16 and South Carolina's win over North Carolina. That's 10 o'clock Eastern time. Aaliyah Boston again doing her thing. 28 points, 22 rebounds as South Carolina knocks off North Carolina. 69-61. Tennessee, the only other SEC team in the Sweet 16. They'll play Louisville on Saturday. Jay Johnson have a discussion with his hitters.
Yeah, Jay does this a lot. You know, he gets so many offensive timeouts, and he says he's trying to teach in the moment, you know, and what the approach is, what the understanding is.
Okay, Doty will look at a first pitch strike.
Figueroa's got that frisbee, you know, going right to left. Of course, the 2-seam fastball from that slot down there going left to right. So one going away like that one and one coming in. It's an arm slot you don't normally see in college baseball.
Tell Doty was trying to punch that through the right side. Saw that gap a moment ago. Big hole off that right side. They play him to the left side a little bit, and he'll go down. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. First out of the inning.
Yeah, and all of this right here, all frisbees. So strike one, and then you just ooze them off the outside corner. You start it in the zone and have it break off. Show them you can throw it for a strike, and then don't throw it for a strike again.
That one is fouled out of play. The one thing the Gators are trying to find is that that Sunday pitcher who can lock down a weekend for you.
Yeah, I think Coppola was going to be that guy, the freshman, big left-hander that Sully really likes. The back injury has kept taking him out. It looks like what potentially could be for the season.
He says he's got some young arms in there that he likes. He's just waiting for somebody to kind of step up and take that role.
Yeah, he likes Hartman, the freshman, and Abner, the other freshman. And, you know, just need a few innings under your belt. And he's hoping, and that's what happens a lot in SEC play. You know, guys that get their feet wet the first half, and all of a sudden the second half of the season, you'll start to see them emerge in more, I guess, high leverage type situations.
You know, LSU's trying to find somebody to pitch on Saturday and Sundays. They're TBAs coming into this weekend. It looked like that may have clipped him. Trey Morgan gonna stroll down to first. That'll be first and second now with one out for Jacob Berry to step in.
The LSU last weekend went with Ty Floyd and then Blake Money and then Mikael Hilliard. And you could very well see 2 new starters for LSU behind Blake Money.
So now we see the switch hitter Berry hit from the opposite side. Now that Barco is done.
This is the side of the plate Jacob Berry has been as good as anybody this year. All 8 home runs from this side of the plate, the left side.
Ground ball. That's a fair ball that hit our first base umpire, Zach Neff, and that probably saved 2 runs. Boy, that's a tough break. That's the kind of night it's been for LSU, unfortunately.
A ball hit, I mean, off the end of the bat, but right over the first base bag. And that is a tough break. You're right. That saves at least 2 runs. And Jacob Berry could run because the right fielder, Sterling Thompson, was pulled over toward the right center field gap. He could have very well ended up at third base.
So Gavin Dugas now 0 for 2. First Tiger base runner to reach third base. Ground ball out to second. They'll give up the run to get the out, and that'll be 2 down. But Cruz touches home, and it's a 7-1 ball game.
Another ball just cued right off the end of the bat. LSU a little bit out in front. Figueroa. I think Florida at this point will gladly trade that run for an out.
So second and third for Jordan Thompson. Twelfth appearance of the year for Figueroa, 2-0. He's thrown 24 innings.
Yeah, he's been one of the better relievers for Florida. And certainly not taking any chances, even being up 7-0 when the inning began. He's bringing out one of his better guys. Two and one the count. You know what's coming now. Throw that fastball on the outside corner. It comes back to get you strike 2. You might throw that frisbee in the same spot, but instead this one's going to go right to left.
Oh, just misses. It's full 3-2. Chopper, they played him perfectly. Halter across the diamond, and the inning is over. But LSU does pick up a run. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning, a 7-1 ball game. Because it is going to get serious. Look at the schedule coming up for the Gators. They get Florida on Tuesday, Florida State on Tuesday. They've already had one of those games postponed due to rain. Then you got Georgia, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and Tennessee. With another Florida State sprinkled in there.
What's that, 5 consecutive weekends of ranked teams?
Yeah.
Giddy up.
Ooh.
But again, the silver lining to this is, yeah, you get beat on mentally and physically, but boy, does it prepare you for postseason play. And that's what it's about.
Rivera. He is 1 for 3. Gators have 7 hits tonight. LSU's had some base runners. They've left 8 on base.
Well, Hunter Barco was just too good. You know, I mean, you talk about a real ace. And you can match him up with anybody on Friday night in the SEC or in the country for that matter.
Big cut, fouled it back 1-2 on Rivera. Let me get this straight, though. Let me just I'm trying to digest this. You got a spring training game on Wednesday down in Sarasota.
Enough already, will
But
you?
you're going to Baltimore.
Enough already. I'm already bitter about it.
I could just talk about that a little bit more if I could.
Let's just rub it in. The only thing I can tell you, the crab cakes will be good.
There's a ground ball out to second. And Thompson makes the play. Once again, he and K. Doty flip-flop, shortstop and second base last inning. So one down here in the 8th inning for the Gators, who look like they have the pieces to make a nice run this year. You know, barring injuries, they're certainly hitting the ball with, you know, the best of them in the country. Not exactly Tennessee at the plate, but good enough, well enough to win some ball games if you need to go that route.
Yeah, offensively, look, there's nothing to worry about from an offensive standpoint. I mean, there's plenty of home run power. We know that with the home runs. I mean, Judd Fabian has seemed to have turned the corner compared to some of the numbers he put up last year as far as strikeouts. I don't think anybody thought Wyatt Langford. He's been a huge surprise. He goes from, 4 at-bats to hitting the 4-hole this year. And some veterans down at the bottom in Cali Lau and Rivera, Armstrong, and Derek Fabian seems to be a star down in that 9-hole playing third base. And what you love about this Florida team, it's a Florida team from the past of when defense was their specialty. And it is again this year. I mean, they come in fielding .982 third best. And really, you look at this team and you start to crunch the numbers, everything is better. We talked about the batting average earlier. The ERA last year was 4.15. They're over a run a game better this year. Home runs are going to be much more. Fielding percentage last year was bad. Fielding percentage was 14th, so dead last in the SEC, and yet they're 3rd this year. So it's nothing not to like about this Florida team. Now, could they use one more starter? Yes, and I think they're going to have to develop that, maybe a Sunday guy. But I think there's enough pieces in that bullpen to get by what they got. But there's not many teams in the SEC that has 3 real guys that run out there every weekend.
Isn't it weird? I mean, I think back, this might be one of the thinnest years in terms of having teams line up a Friday, Saturday, Sunday guy in this league that I can remember. There aren't many that can just throw. Tennessee obviously can. Vanderbilt can.
But Tennessee's doing it with 2 freshmen.
Right.
You know, the last Chase Burns is one of them. But don't forget about the injuries, and that's been a big part of it, too. I mean, Peyton Paulette went down early. He was the Friday night guy for Arkansas. Connor Prelip, who this time last year we were saying might be the #1 pick in the draft this year at Alabama, we're hearing now he may not even pitch this year. You know, Landon Sims, the big stud at, Mississippi State, has gone down, and Stone Simmons as well. And so it's been a lot of guys. I mean, Javen Coleman is a big loss for LSU.
Yeah,
a guy
not talked about enough, really, I think, and what LSU's problems
He was
are.
a big swing man, and if he would have stayed healthy, he'd probably be in the rotation by now, but he went down a couple of weeks ago with Tommy John surgery. So you go around the league and around the country for that matter. I mean, don't forget about Reggie Crawford at UConn and Henry Williams at Duke, both projected to be first-rounders. They go down. So it's been a weird year for the pitchers in general, and some of our top pitchers in our game have gone down. And what's scary about Tennessee is their Friday night guy, Blake Tidwell's not yet to pitch this year. Like, he's been on the shelf with a shoulder, but now he's expected to come
He's
back.
activated this weekend.
Okay, so so there you go.
Right,
I mean,
right.
they got the best ERA in the SEC, and yet Tidwell, who they
Right.
say is a can't-miss first rounder this year, has not even thrown a ball yet for him.
Yeah, they're up 11. They're up 11-1 right now, Tennessee over Ole Miss. And you look at some of those draft eligible from the SEC, and Landon Sims, Connor Prelip, certainly among the best. You know, we talked to Landon Simmons last week when we were in Athens, Georgia. Mississippi State was there, and the guy, man, he's put together mentally and physically. I mean, I was so impressed talking to him for the 15, 20 minutes we had him on, and his.
Yeah. It's a mature approach by him, you know. And I texted him when he went down and told him I was thinking about him, you know. But he's a kid that loves the game, and the fan base has obviously wrapped their arms around him in the season that, you know, Mississippi State had last year, winning their first ever, not just in baseball, but their first ever national title in any sport, you know. And so he'll always go down in history as one of the big guys. But, you know, the great news for the Tommy John guys that are out there is the majority of those guys do come back, and they're at least as good, and in some cases better than what they were. So that's kind of the silver lining with the Tommy John surgery. But it's an alarming number of kids, and I keep saying this, and parents, if you're at home, please don't play baseball year-round. It's just more is not better. And I really think that's one of our biggest issues that we have. We have so many kids now that are playing baseball. I mean, get into another sport or enjoy the outdoors in the offseason or whatever, but it is just not good if your 12-year-old little man is playing 10, 11 months of baseball. It's just not. Get them into football, basketball, soccer, whatever.
Words of wisdom from Ben McDonald. It's a new special we're going to have on the SEC Network. And we will head to the ninth. 7-1. Oh, my goodness.
Words of wisdom. I like it.
Yeah. We got a Braves fan out there. We're in Gainesville, Florida, where the Gators lead at 7-1 over LSU. Boy, temperatures dropped pretty dramatically once
in
the
the
sun
world
went
is
down.
that?
That's some overalls without a shirt. That's what they call that. He looked in the mirror on the way out and said, "I look good." He left the house.
No, he didn't look in the mirror. He just said he left the house and said, "I look good."
Okay. Right, he's saying right now, I did look in the mirror and I did say I look good.
Got the hat on backwards. He's ready.
And she's like, "No, you didn't. I know you didn't look in the mirror." And
what is going on here?
That ball is hammered deep to left field. It is out of here. A blast off the bat of Hayden Travinski.
Hayden Travinski telling head coach Jay Johnson, "I want some playing time."
His first of the year.
This was large, too. I'm talking about the wind kind of cutting into the teeth of the wind. And watch where this ball lands. Looked like it went all the way back to the back wall of the visiting bullpen. See the wind blowing left to right, but he chases this one all the way back. Yeah, off the back wall.
Fouled straight back from the Giacomo. First home run of the year for Travinski. That one's out to left. Langford shy of the warning track, makes the catch, one down. That'll take us to Drew Bianco, who has flown out to center field all 3 times tonight. Georgia leading Kentucky 4-2 in the bottom of the ninth. South Carolina in the bottom of the 8th trying to hold on. They're up 8-2 over the Commodores. Arkansas's over Missouri 5-4 in the 7th. Foul ball at the plate. We'll do it again. Tennessee up 11-1 over Ole Miss in the 8th. What's tough night for that LSU Tiger fan.
She has had enough.
Don't move, Mom. Do not move. That's going to be Ben McDonald in about 10 minutes, isn't it?
Won't be long.
Won't be long. Drew fouls that one straight back. Auburn and Texas A&M tied at 3 in the 6th. Swing and a miss, 2 down.
Yeah, I was impressed with Texas A&M last year because last weekend rather, when they played LSU. I mean, all you heard was dead last in the league in home runs, last in batting average, last in runs scored, and yet they came in and put some good at-bats together. And I think they have enough pitching. I mean, the starting pitching for them is solid. Now, the relievers is a little bit of question mark down there, but overall, it's a gritty bunch that's going to upset some people this year, no doubt about that.
Jim Schlossnagle coming over from TCU. TCU ranked 19th in the country this year. Dylan Cruz 0 for 2. He walked and scored last inning. Pitches now out of the bullpen for Figueroa. Figueroa now has pitched the second most innings on this team, only behind Hunter Barco. Two strikes, 2 down here in the ninth. Chopper over to first. It's a foot race to the bag. Kalilau will win it, and this one is in the books. The Gators win for the 4th time in the last 5 tries, and they win game 1 of this series 7-1 over the LSU Tigers. Florida goes to 17-5, 3-1 in conference play, and LSU will drop to 15-7, 1-3.
Yeah, all about Hunter Barco for me, the Friday night ace for Florida. 7 innings, 2 hits, did not allow a run, punched out 8 along the way. LSU's got some work to do to be more consistent before they get covered up in this league. But all in all, Florida is, to me, a real Omaha-type team.
Yeah, they seem to have the pieces for sure. And they pick up game 1. Hunter Barco, nice effort with 8 strikeouts. He is now 5-1 on the year. So for Ben McDonald, the rest of our exceptional SEC Network crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long from Gainesville, Florida. The Gators win it 7-2. It's off to SEC Now.